Aloha mai kako. This is Oracle of the Golden Spiral. Today we're going to be focusing on the full moon in Pisces. Full moon in Pisces is going to be on September 20th, the 21st. Full moon in Pisces energy. We're going to be starting, let's see. We're going to do the full round from Virgo through Leo. What do we have for Virgo's energy, please? Virgo for the full moon in Pisces. Okay, Virgo. You have the Fairy Godmother, number 25, and the Topsy-Turvets, number 51. Something is going to be, so anytime Siri is here, the Fairy Godmother, Siri is here, it's really about good deeds. There is going to be some type of conspicuous miracle. And that helps you change your viewpoint. Right now, a fresh perspective is needed. And it's kind of like a little gift that comes along that someone just happens to sprinkle upon you. Paying it forward, sort of, in a sense, where that allows you to see things from a new and fresh perspective. It's like you've been looking for this new perspective. Maybe you've had a lot of questions, and all of a sudden I'm getting this like little gift of epiphany here for you. I think that what it's going to allow you to do is to I think the effects of this really will have you communicating and dealing with people in a completely different way, just because of it's like a brand new color has been added to the rainbow, and so you're going to be able to go ahead and with all these new things, with Virgo energy, working through, all that you understand and have done before, to go ahead and to incorporate this into so many things into your life. And I think that in turn, this gift that someone knowingly or unknowingly has bestowed upon you, like this little sprinkling of pixie dust, that really gives you just such a, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a better word than gift, but this gift allows you to go ahead and to use all of those new ways in which you see things to help others. So in essence, it's like I keep getting this feeling of like from one the many, like from this one act of kindness, this one seemingly miraculous good deed, you're able to take that and to multiply that and send it out to others in your life who may in fact need a different viewpoint or some kind of good deed in their life, some kind of miracle and pixie dust in their life. Yeah. Well, since this is probably the last time we're doing Virgo, let's get one more for you, Virgo. Last time we're doing Virgo first. So we're going to be moving out of your season. So let's get you a little bit more information for this new moon. Okay, let's see. This is number 31, Undressing of a Salad. And so this card here is, it talks a lot about impossibilities, but it really is about keeping a cool head as outcomes are unpredictable. How does this relate? Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay. So the feeling that I'm getting after incorporating this energy is that things that you thought maybe not necessarily were impossible, but roadblocks that you saw, things that you may have wanted to, you know, niceties like, oh, it would be nice if this was able to happen, but you know, there's the sense I'm getting is there's like tremendous work that needs to put into it, and so maybe things that have fallen on the it's not necessarily that they were impossibilities. It was so more in the way of there's a balance in life, and like what, you know, we're talking about the ROI, right? What is the return on the investment? And so when we put that on the scale and we're like, okay, so this would be a nicety, but it requires, you know, 10 units of impossibility labor. Let's just, I don't know, I'm just making that up at this point. But and so, you know, if it's gonna only return a two on the glow factor, right? Then it's not really worth it to go ahead and do that. But what I'm getting from this, Virgo, is that from this one little miracle that someone offers and which benefits you, you are able to, and the change of viewpoint allows you to open up. It's like this like never ending proliferation. What is that? Like this expansion of possibility and amazement. Because with that, with your fresh perspective, you're able to share and to sprinkle that fairy dust onto others. And those others go on, and collectively, as more get involved, those 10 units of, I forget what I called it now, become minuscule in the amount of, because so many more are involved, and maybe they don't see it as that much labor for the output. And so for the, you know, for the reward. And so what ends up happening is these types of things continue on, essentially one showing you how things can be accomplished, and showing you and also providing back those things which we thought were not maybe obtainable because of the work involved, but inevitably come to be because so many more have been touched by this miracle. It's kind of getting like this, well, I talk about the ripples a lot. Let's take it to ripples. So it's like this one point of impact, right? This Siri is that one point of impact, and you, Siri and you start that ripple, and it ripples out and out and out and out. And as viewpoints change, more and more and more gets affected, and now this whole area is affected. And what can be accomplished with the other people that get involved and the other areas that that this is affecting, inevitably some of those things that we thought could never be accomplished actually get accomplished and become beneficial to that first you, right? This person and you in that first point of touch, but also it's like continuing to spread more and more good ripples, making that which is unpredictable all of a sudden, or unpredictable and impossible, become so much more predictable and so much more possible. It's not about fixing it all ourselves. It's about what we can do for others and inspiration. I think that's kind of what's coming through here, is this pure point of inspiration, creating additional points of inspiration that are able to essentially with ease make outcomes more predictable, but what's even better, make the outcomes so much grander. Okay, Virgo, that is what I have for you. I wish you the best on this full moon in Pisces. Thank you for your time and for sharing your energy with us. Okay. Moving on to Libra. What do we have for Libra at this full moon in Pisces? What do we have for Libra, please, at this full moon in Pisces? Okay, Libra, you have Spirit Dancer, number 36, and Gotcha, number 64. Okay, Spirit Dancer is really about your personal truth and authenticity. It's about dancing that your life energy throughout the world. And Gotcha is like this is kind of like the Tower in this Oracle deck. It's really like breaking down for the breakthrough. So we have to be able to, have that clarity. Some of the things that were not stable, some of the things that were not necessarily in this aspect true to the cause need to be removed, so that we all of a sudden have kind of like Virgo, like a new viewpoint, things become so much more clear and but in like a realistic sense, right? All of a sudden we're seeing something because so much of the grime has been scraped away. It's like, is it lemon and salt? Lemon and salt on copper, right? So copper has this actually what's making me think of that is like this bluish greenish patina that's going on everywhere. And copper has that, and that is beautiful. But when you get down there with that salt and the lemon and you kind of, take care of all of that, the patina and the oxidation that's been on the surface, it looks like a completely different thing. It's just like beautiful, sparkly copper instead of, you know, what you were seeing before. So, yeah. So, it's weird that's coming up, but let's see where we go with this. So, yeah, it's kind of like maybe, okay. Libra, you have had this, right? So much has gone on, but what you are finding is that all of that stuff, things people have put upon you, feelings and emotions that we've had in these situations, have all been kind of clouding what's going on with you. And it seems like in this Pisces full moon, you're going to kind of be returning to self, sloughing off all of that patina, all of the ways in which you reacted with your environment. Like, I'm not saying like being reactive, but I'm just saying all the ways in which interactions with others and with situations, that buildup that they've put on you. And it seems like you're getting in there, scrubbing it off, and really being committed to your self-expression, your self-freedom, and dancing that authenticity into the new experiences that you're walking into. For a couple Libras in my life, if you guys have watched my videos before, it's very possible that you did not hear this, but you may, on the slight off chance, you may have heard that my mom is Libra, and my mom is like gonna move to Seattle. She's selling her house, moving to Seattle, buying a new house, doing all of these new things, because so much of what has kept her here in Hawaii, my sister lives in Seattle, so much of what has kept her here in Hawaii really just doesn't make sense for her anymore. And so she is like this brand new lady that's super excited to go out there and to like actually get to spend time with her grandson. I mean, she has 2 grandkids here, but she's been with them since they were born. So, you know, going ahead and getting to spend some time out there with my sister and experience all those things, but it's lightened her spirit, and she's just happier, but you know, some of the things that were holding her back had to do with her previous work, and she's been retired for like maybe like 3 or 4 years, 3 or 4 years now. And so, but still like connected in that way to that story. And so she's sloughing that off. And maybe you too, Libra, you are kind of cleaning up that, you know, the patina of the old stories and moving out, refinding that glow and moving out into the world with your truth. And nothing can make us more happy than to be able to show up wherever we go feeling great, and in combination with being in our authenticity. Let me put it a different way. Nothing's better than when you walk into the world as yourself, your complete, authentic self, and knowing that you're doing great and shining like that copper, and having people receive that well, and just feeling it's a very, like, what is it? Wow, I can't think of the words. Very, it's not validation, because we don't need a validation from other people. I mean, I always think I need validation from other people when we boil it down, like, do we? But it's just a very, like, satisfied feeling. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. That's the feeling I'm feeling, is that feeling of satisfaction, authenticity, and satisfaction. Okay, Libra, that is what I have for you. Thank you so much for sharing your energy and for taking the time, and for listening to my story about my wonderful mom. Wouldn't be here without her, so very appreciative of her. All right, let's see. Moving on to Scorpio. What do we have for Scorpio during this full moon in Pisces? Scorpio, full moon in Pisces, please. Okay. So you have the Fairy Godmother, 25, and G Hobjab, number 61. Scorpio, we talked about this a little bit in Virgo. If you have any Virgo in your chart, you can go back and watch the Virgo portion, because this card came up in Virgo too. But whenever Sari, which is the Fairy Godmother, enters into our life, there's some conspicuous miracle gifted to you for the most part. So it's as if internally you've had all of these, like, imaginary fears, not being able to discern what's real, what's not real, shadows lurking behind every corner. I mean, not literally, but figuratively in your mind. There's been a lot that has been taking up your mind in regards to these things. Well, if you're resonating with this. And it's almost as if there is some, and that's why I said, if you have Virgo in your chart, we'll look back at the Virgo reading, because it's almost as if there's this point of light, and that is this conspicuous miracle that goes ahead and frees you from this swirling gray cloud that's been taking up a lot of your thought space. And when it takes up your thought space, we reflect that out into the world. So that energy creates more confusion, where we need to sit there and decipher, is this something I should be worried about? Is this an actual problem? Or is it something I'm just creating in my head? So it's almost as if you are given the gift to this is being able to, I mean, it's asking us to decipher those imaginary fears versus actual pitfalls. But it's almost as if this conspicuous miracle gives you the truth on one of them. and you are able to clear out those clouds, understanding the rest. And that's why I said go back to Virgo, because it has this very like point of inflection, ripple effect that is coming through with this for you today. If I remember from your previous reading, Scorpio, there was some darkness there. And so I really feel like you are at this point. It's almost as if like in a curve, right? It's like there's this darkness that we're descending into, and it's almost like this is the moment where we start coming back out of that. Yeah, that's beautiful. I think that's what I have for you today, Scorpio. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best at this full moon in Pisces. And thanks for spending the time with me. Okay, moving on to Sagittarius. What do we have for Sagittarius during this full moon in Pisces, please? Sagittarius energy for the full moon in Pisces. Sagittarius, you have Arvo Parrot, number 50, and the Piper, number 24. This is really great. This is like exploring all ideas, and from those ideas, being able to, by being clear and concise, propagate those ideas of merit, right? We're exploring all ideas, but propagating the ideas that garner merit out into the world where they can be, where you have this persuasion because of the gentleness, to be able to communicate that out and to be heard. That's very straight and to the point. How funny also this, right? So it's, yeah, taking that communication and being able to communicate it in such a way as to be persuasive and as to make a difference for whatever it is that you're engaging in. They're giving me gift of gab, but it's not. Gift of gab is like kind of a kind of like we're just talking and talking, right? But like in this more, maybe that's why they're giving it to me. So in just everyday conversations, maybe it's not like, standing up, giving a speech. Maybe it's just everyday conversations where you're able to be persuasive, where people are able to see your viewpoint, where you're open to sharing and people are open to receiving. But you do have that extra power of being able to communicate it and to articulate your thoughts in a way where people will be receptive and listen. Okay, Sagittarius, that is what I have for you on this full moon in Pisces. Thank you so much for sharing your energy, and thank you for your time. If you found that this was helpful, please go ahead and hit the like button. And if you would subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate that. All right, let's move on to Scorpio. What do we have for Scorpio? Oh, we did Scorpio. I am not working backwards, guys. We're going forwards. Capricorn. What do we have for Capricorn for this full moon in Pisces, please. Capricorn energy for the full moon in Pisces. Okay, you have the Maiden, number 14, and Fairies of the Future, number 33. There is new joy and hope in new beginnings. This is asking you to step forward into the future. Perhaps with this combination, it makes me feel like perhaps we've been in a place of darkness lately. We have maybe not felt, maybe we felt a little bit left out by the universe, a little bit forgotten. But this is calling attention to hopeful new beginnings, returning to that joy of childhood, right? See how those beautiful imaginative thoughts, lift up off of her. Having nothing and needing nothing. She's naked on a leaf. Can't get more nothing than that. So, returning to that simplicity, but having hope. Having hope for the new and moving into the future. This is asking you to, well, I've already said that, but step forward into the future with that. So if there has been a lot of darkness, please know that how you approach the future is what it will show you. So we always have the opportunity to change what we're creating, despite what, it's if you've been having hard times, it's probably unlikely that you created those hard times all alone. But if we continue to carry those difficulties and challenges with us, they will be part of our future. But we decide that, right? That's something that we can make an active choice to put down. When I was growing up, there's a concept that we had in our house, which I took with me. Oh, how funny this is coming up. Right? Okay, guys, I always say that the messages that come to you for others really are also being reflected back to you. So generally, if I sit with someone, the reason that they've been drawn to me and the reason I'm reading for them is all one. In assisting them to unwrap their package, inevitably that information helps me as well, because there's a reason that your two energies are sitting across from each other, right? And so this is happening right now in this respect. So when I was growing up, because sorry I'm jumping around, but because I didn't do this past couple days. And what I did instead was I was very proud of myself. I asked for the time that I need, because I generally just put my stuff to the wayside and plug through with work, right? And, but I didn't do this the other day. I just brought that straight in. I just brought that authenticity, like, listen, I've got a lot going on. This is what I need. And I'm really bad at asking for what I need. So please, you know, understand how important this is to me. But it's funny because this is kind of asking, it's drawing attention to something. Let me get back there now. That we did in my household growing up. And so what it was when you had to, you know, take care of something, you really need to take those emotions or challenges that you had and hang it on a nail and go do what you needed to do. And we were always allowed to go pick it back up if we wanted it. But we rarely ever did, because by that point you kind of, you know, gotten busy doing something else, and you didn't need all of that disturbance. You didn't have to go pick it back up. Same thing with like work. So that's how I approach my work life, is like, okay, I may have like, you know, personal issues going on or things like that, and what we, from the time we were little, we're taught to do is to go hang that on a nail when we walk into the workplace. And so that it doesn't affect the work that you're doing, right? And then again, you could go ahead and pick it back up at the end of the day if you decided that you wanted to take it back and to worry about it some more. And what I found is that, I mean, true, you know, things that are going on in your life, they don't go away, but you can leave that energy and that emotion about it there. And then when, you know, you go home and you're faced with it again, it's not like you've been carrying around that energy, that frustration, that crazy throughout that whole day. In fact, you left it back there, so you can approach it in a whole new way. And so this is kind of what's happening here. It looks like it's asking you, despite what has been going on, to approach things, to take all of those feelings, and that the darkness could be real. Not like could be real, but like it could have so much to do with external forces and not something that you've conjured up. But how we only have control of how we feel about it, right? So taking those things, hanging it on the side, and moving forward just for this, maybe this, you know, 2-week period from full moon to new moon, or maybe this is the perfect time to do it too, because we're releasing, right? So hanging that on a nail. And you know what, at the new moon, if you want to pick those things back up because you miss them, then go right ahead. But I think what you'll find is when you move into that new moon, you'll be just wanting to continue on stepping, you know, into your future without those things. So Capricorn, that is what I have for you. Thank you so much for taking me on that memory lane journey, and for spending this time with me. I appreciate it. If you found that any of that was helpful, please go ahead and please subscribe. I would love to have you as a subscriber, and also like the video if you do in fact like it. Okay? Thank you so much, Capricorn. Have a great full moon in Pisces. Moving on to Aquarius. Full moon in Pisces energy for Aquarius, please. What do we have for Aquarius? Okay, as expected. All right, you have Town the Poet, number 29, and Singer of the Chalice, number 12. Okay. So what is requiring your unconditional loving and trust? Inside of you, underlying everything, is that joyful willingness, that unconditional love, and such a good energy which lends itself to trust. Yet, how we're coming across is mischievous, having just the right words, saying just the right thing. It feels contrived. Yeah, it does. It feels like there's authenticity behind it, but it feels like the delivery is contrived. How are people responding at this time to things you authentically feel, but maybe are challenged in communicating? And on the flip side, that flipped hard. And on the flip side, what are we being authentic about where maybe other people's own challenges, opportunities in life, where they're taking it the wrong way? Where they feel like it's contrived when really we're just trying to communicate what is within us. I think these are aspects, Aquarius, that you are going to be grappling with at this time. Can I get one for Tom the Poet, please, for Aquarius? Aquarius, clarify, Tom the Poet. Last shuffle, and I picked from the middle. You have two. Okay, the Maiden and himself. The Maiden, number 14, and himself, number 17. Yeah, it's about that pure joy and hopeful beginnings. I think it's asking you to bring that to the surface. And with your ability to communicate, finding a way. Aquariuses are great at communicate. Aquariuses love to withhold communication, but when they communicate, they're exemplary at it, right? So it's really about finding the way to authentically communicate that which lies within you. In a way where it can also be received that way. Is it up to you? Here's the deeper things that we grapple with, right? Is it up to you to care about how someone receives it? Not necessarily, if you're speaking from a place of authenticity. However, if we care about how that person receives it, then we can find a balance in that, something that it's not just being able to communicate our authenticity, but also incorporating the way we want it to be heard, knowing who our audience is. I don't think this is going to be difficult for you at all, Aquarius. It just keeps reminding me to point out the lovingness of it, the willingness of it. Himself, he essentially, the reason I know you're going to be successful at this is because he makes everything around him more. And that is because he essentially is like dancing the spark of life into being. He's creation. And with all these beautiful cards around it, yeah, this is a beautiful energy. All right, Aquarius, thank you so much. I hope you got something from that. If you found that you resonated with it, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. Thank you for spending your time with me and for sharing your energy on this full moon in Pisces. Moving on to Pisces. Full moon in Pisces. Pisces energy, please. What do we have for Pisces? Excuse me. Okay, Pisces. You have He of the Fiery Sword, number 4. And number 61, G Hop Jab. This is going to be a period where you need to guard against imaginary fears. This energy should be dreamy. However, I mean, the moon phase right now should lend to the dreaminess of it. This is more yang energy that's presenting here. Really about justice and protection and protecting yourself from these thoughts and mishaps and things of that nature. It's a very interesting energy for Pisces, full moon for Pisces. A lot less ethereal than I thought it was going to be, but there perhaps is a reason for that. I think it's asking you, Pisces, not to get too carried away with your imagination. The darker side of imagination, we might be very in our feels at the height of this full moon, and really wanting, Yeah, it's like an outward protection for inner fear. If we know that this is the energy that we are working with during this time, perhaps it would be best to channel that yang energy into things that we can actually change, right? Jihad jab is really imaginary fear, like being able to decipher imaginary fears versus actual pitfalls. So if this is the energy that we're carrying forward, maybe using the energy of the full moon to address any of the things that may be actual pitfalls for us, maybe things left undone, maybe loose ends that we need to tie up, and that kind of fits in with the waning of the moon as well. So during this time period, Pisces, perhaps it's better to, instead of living in that dreaminess of it, of this, you know, energy that we have at this time with this one aspect, yes. But the moon really does, you know, deal with our emotions and the pull within us. So maybe taking this time to put closure to, you know, using that yang energy to actualize and to put to bed some of the things that maybe we have left undone that cause us, you know, like that Nine of Swords energy, that nightmare, staying up all night energy, and being able to effectively close those out or to fix them in some way, so that as we move forward, when we get to, you know, the new moon in Libra, we'll be able to feel more grounded, feel more balanced, and feel really great about closing out those chapters instead of having them follow us into this next time period. Can I get one more for Pisces, please? One more for Pisces, for this Pisces full moon. Last shuffle, then I take from the middle. Fairies of the future. Yeah, so that you can step boldly forward without, you know, address these things so that you can step boldly forward into the future without any of that following you around, or at least the emotions of that being undone following you into the brighter future that it looks like you're going to have. Okay, Pisces, that is what I have for you. If you found that this was helpful or resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel and go ahead and like the video if you would like to. Thank you for spending this time with me and for sharing your energy during this Pisces full moon. Now we're going to be moving on to Aries. What is the energy for Aries for this Pisces full moon, please? Aries energy for this Pisces full moon. Okay. The Fairy Who Was Kissed by the Pixies, number 21, and Unity, number 1. If you've watched any of my previous videos, inside you is this amazing energy. It's the number 1 card of vast energies looking for a place to happen. This is the energy of the universe planting a seed. And where are they planting it? In the fertile ground, which is Aries' internal, like, underlying energy. How beautiful. I really love that for you. So this is this is really about love therapy on so many levels, right? It's using what the universe provided you in your soul to essentially heal others and heal yourself. It is bringing that light and daylight out to those in your life who need it. It's a great responsibility, but it also was provided to you to distribute for a reason. You have the ability to assist others, and in turn, that helps heal you as well. This has a very pay it forward feeling too, because generally those who we need to provide that love therapy to have more often than not shown us their brokenness. And so sometimes it's hard to be giving in those situations. It's our first reaction is to respond to their brokenness in a way which helps like fracture further our own areas of the areas where we are less solid. It helps to further fracture those areas, and oftentimes we respond in a way that helps us to feel like we're feeling solid, right? Or reactionary versus giving. Not that those are two complete polar opposites, but in how this is coming across, that's what I'm getting. Their hurt makes us respond with our hurt. And I think that this is so beautiful because the universe is, for some reason, providing you with like this swell of love and compassion, which has always been in you, but is now being activated so that you can respond with compassion. And essentially, that is what comes back to you. It's healing, responding with the compassion to heal, to help, if not heal, at least not to comfort, because people are responsible for their complete and total healing, but it's that first step. That compassion is that first step, and in responding with that compassion instead of with our own hurt sparks the beginning of being able to, it starts the upward spiral. Does this make sense? I hope I'm making sense. There's so much in me and I don't know always how to get it out in words. I have a hard time with words. I deal a lot with energy, and converting that is like converting languages. And I suck at languages. I've supposedly, English really would be my second language. I grew up when I was very little in Japan and then Korea. So, but I'm terrible at languages, and I can't even speak Japanese that well any longer. So, yeah, this, I don't know how we got off on that, but this is a beautiful energy, Aries. I hope I did it justice. And I think you are going to have a great Pisces full moon. There may be challenging things that come towards you during this period, but you're going to be able to, which would make it necessary for you to utilize this beauty, but I think that you're going to be able to handle all of that with this very beautiful energy that the universe is reigniting within you. Okay, Aries, thank you so much. If you found that you resonated with this, or if you enjoyed this, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and like it. I would be ever so grateful. Thank you for sharing your time and your energy with me. And I am going to be moving on to Taurus. Okay, Taurus, your energy for this Pisces full moon, you have Epona's Wild Daughter, number 54, and Honesty, number 40. This looks like a very internal period for you, Taurus. This is about healing your deep, unresolved wounds by having clarity and being very honest with yourself about where you've been self-deceptive. It's about loving just as you are and understanding what value you have and being able to heal those deep wounds, your life riddles, any unresolved issues about your own self-love to be able to move forward. What I'm getting from this, Taurus, is you may have noticed lately how it may not be constant, but you may have noticed in an experience or a few experiences lately how some of your wounds have been in dynamics with other people. Some of your wounds have kind of come out into the daylight as you deal with those deal in those experiences with other people. The sense I'm getting is that you've noticed it, kind of like you yourself have been putting your own shit on blast. And it's calling attention to the fact that you have those scars. And when this is like gonna be internal for you, because when we see that, all of a sudden we're like, okay, and we pull it back into ourselves. And I think this time, if we really commit to if you're able to commit to being really honest with yourself and where you've been self-deceptive, what parts of yourself you don't like, and so that you push down, instead of bring to the surface and deal with it. This really is like romancing your shadow. It's not about getting rid of our shadow, right? Our shadow side. You can't ever get rid of it or suppress that. When we suppress it, terrible things happen. We splatter it all over the world. We splatter those hurts all over the world. And it starts becoming, like I said before, evident in the energy as we proceed forward and have interactions with people. And so right now, and this is not like horrible, like this is not saying we all have this. We all have this. It just happens to be that this time in Pisces, this full moon in Pisces, is really a time for you to go ahead and to kind of work through incorporating your shadow. This is shadow work. But at the base of that shadow work is remembering to have unconditional love for yourself. And I think it helps to remember that we all have a shadow. We all have shadow work to do, right? And it changes as time goes on. We are constantly evolving people. Well, hopefully. Okay, Taurus, thank you so much for sharing your energy and for spending this time with me. If you found that any of this resonated, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. And also like the video so that it can propagate out. Moving on to Gemini. What do we have for Gemini? Gemini's energy for the full moon in Pisces, please. Gemini, you have himself, 17, and it'll be the retriever, number 41. Gemini, this is that intense knowing, that rededication to your dreams. At this time, you have more power than ever you have more, well, let's go with that. You have more power than ever to make those dreams a reality. But also, and what may be even more important is that warm, like, growing, how do I explain this feeling? It's like this intense warmness that's like, it's like solar plexus energy. It's like that growing light within inside of you, that makes you feel whole and understands that those dreams that you've had for yourself and for your life, it like envelops it and creates like where you recommit yourself to those things, but it's more than that. It's like a wholeness, like an understanding that they're possible. Really drawing attention to the fact that maybe prior to this, like, even though you wanted them, you never really truly believed they were possible. And that's how we were approaching it all. So they never were able to grow and to blossom in the way that you have the energy for right now. And so that's why I say more important, because you do have the ability to make them a reality. You probably always did, but at this time, that assuredness, that glow from within you, that understanding, and I just keep going back to that assuredness that your soul knows it's possible. What else do we have for that? I just had to explain that feeling. I think the other feeling I have right now is the sincerity in which there's like a very sincere energy to, like, if you're letting others in on what your dreams are, or if you are voicing that to people in your surroundings. I guess it would be people who, one, matter to you, and then two, people who can help you actualize them. There's an amazing serenity and sincerity that's coming through, where if you engage others into your process, they are going to want to help you develop, and they're going to take a personal interest in helping you to achieve these dreams. I want to say there's also an interconnectedness, where something about the reason that they're going to want to is not just because of how sincere you're coming at it, but because it also has something to do, like they have some point of commonality, some point in commonality which helps them to understand that dream. For example, someone who's already experienced that. You know, let's say you want to become an artist, and even though their approach is different from your approach, the honesty and sincerity in which you ask them about how they developed their technique will help. They'll recognize a little bit of themselves in you, despite whether it's, you know, they have a totally different approach. And so they'll want to help and want to help you succeed in understanding what your method would be, and provide guidance. That's on one side of the spectrum. You know, like the other side of the spectrum, and the first thing that came to me is probably because I was born in a household where it's like, become a doctor or a lawyer. But like, you know, Hey, sorry, Gemini. I was staring at the charger the whole time and was shocked when it powered off. Okay, sorry. I tried to get back to that energy, but let's see how this goes. So one more for Gemini, please. Fairies of the future. Okay. So really, this is going to lead you. I have no idea what I was talking about before, so I apologize, but this is going to lead you into like stepping boldly forward into whatever this dream you are creating is. It's the feeling I'm getting is that it has been put on hold for quite some time. Maybe we've been in a challenging or dark place. Maybe we've been searching. I think that's the energy I'm feeling. It's like, it's not necessarily dark. It's just like a confusion or searching. But now it's going back to that dream and being able to manifest that into existence, and knowing that you're going to be able to, that while it was just something that we'd always dreamt about or hoped for, that now the beginning of seeing that as the future, as a reality in the future, is coming to be. Okay, thank you so much, Gemini. Thank you for your time. If this has resonated with you, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it, as well as like the video if you did in fact like it. Thanks so much for your time, and now we are going to be moving on to Cancer. What do we have for Cancer for this full moon in Pisces? Cancer, full moon in Pisces, please. Cancer. Cancer energy for full moon in Pisces. Okay. Cancer, you have Penelope Dreamweaver, number 28, and the Lamb, number 30. Okay. So, if you are feeling stuck, if you are, if your energy is feeling stuck, if you have been a little bit like you're moving forward but dragging through the mud, this is essentially asking you to take a look at stuff that you would normally not pay attention to in your normal everyday to day, and to go ahead and to unstuck yourself by giving to others from your heart. This is the energy of when we are unable to see a path forward, when our energy is a little bit stuck. It's kind of like paying it forward into the universe. Similar but different to the fairy godmother. They're connected in a way, but it's like paying it forward to others And with that, what you will find is that that gift is actually returned. So it's like sending great vibes out into the world, and it has a boomerang effect that helps you to get dislodged from where you are. Many times when I experienced this energy in my life, it's kind of like, how do I explain it? It's kind of like, I kind of talked about it at the beginning. I think we started with Virgo, and so it may have been in Virgo or Libra, probably Virgo. But oftentimes when people, when you're sitting with someone for a reading, the reason that they're there with you is because there's some sort of energetic pull that pulls you together. And so in essence, in helping them discover the answers to their questions, you inevitably gain something from that. And you didn't go into it knowing that you needed that information, but for some reason it helps you in some aspect of your life as well, in such a profound and amazing way. And so, one, that's why I like to do this work. But, going out and it's just about getting random inspiration to, seeing somebody that is, I think about this road you can hear out here near my house, and, there's some crosswalks across that don't have traffic lights, and so sometimes it's a busy road, and so sometimes people can, it takes a while for them to be able to feel safe enough or to get drivers' attention enough to start that trek out to cross the road. And so it could be as simple as going ahead and being the one that stops to help alert cars that there's something going on so that someone can cross the road. It can be as easy as, you can also be the person that is kind of reaches out to kind of like wave and like start that person walking across the road, like get the driver's attention so that they can cross the road. Just something as simple as that. Or I often think about like the grocery line, when there's been a few times in my life where there's people that like just need that extra few cents or whatever, and they can like run out to their car and go get it, or maybe they don't have it, but just being able to provide that for them right there to make that trip that much easier for them. Just little things like that. But putting that kind of energy into the world helps circulate that, right? It's karma. It ends up coming back in the way you need it. So it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to put the energy out in the way that like, I need to, having this information would really help me, and I've searched and not able to glean what I need to from it, so I'm gonna go help people learn stuff. It doesn't have to be that. It can, it comes back. We just like, you might not need the 15 cents at the grocery, but they do, and so you show up for them in how they need, and in turn the universe brings that energy back to you in the way that you need. So it's not a tit for tat. I don't know why I feel like I had to explain that, but it's not a tit for tat. It's not, it doesn't have to be in that same realm. It's just about being there for someone in the way that, and showing up for them in the way that they need, and then the universe sends you people that will show up in the way that you need. it helps you. That's just one example, right? You know, when you're doing readings for people, that's another example. So in whatever way, shape, or form that you are stuck, going ahead and creating action energy is going to help dislodge you, and you're going to have some great experiences in the process. But this says, look for it in just like everyday things and ways in which you can be of service and to show up for other people, which Cancers are really great at. So be you, Cancer, and just know that, you know, you'll be able to overcome whatever it is that currently has a hold on you at the moment. Okay, that's what I have for you, Cancer. Thanks so much for sharing your energy and time with us. And if you found that this resonated with you, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel and like the video so that others can see it. Moving on to Leo. Leo energy for the Pisces full moon, please. Okay. Leo, you have the Singer of Initiation, number 9, and Death, number 53. There is some type of trial that is going to allow you to ascend in a way that you have not before. It's time to acknowledge that there is much to let go, and that sometimes in life we face tests. But now is the time to welcome change, welcome impermanence. That's what I'm going through right now. And to face this test head on with that amazing light that you carry just within your soul, so that there can be a growth and an elevation to so much higher of an existence for you. If you've watched the previous moon readings for Leo, you'll know that there has been a sense of darkness, and it seems like lately we have been moving out of that. Like, now is the time to rise. I'll share a personal story from this week with you folks. I was actually thinking about doing a video about that. It's not like I want to really show the world my home, but everything that I went through to be here, just so much of people's punishment that I endured, and you know, just that which seemed so unjust at the time really came to a head where I was able to get this house that I live in right now. It has meant so much to me, and on a personal level, it's shown me how much I can accomplish and how much work I'm really willing to put into things if I want them bad enough. And if I, you know, this has been a tremendous thing that I've been able to accomplish for my kids. And on Wednesday, instead of the lease renewal coming in, I got notification that they won't be renewing it because the owner is going to sell. I don't know if you know anything about the housing market in Hawaii, but this, while it's not inexpensive, it is reasonable. So I've been able to have a place for me and my kids, even have a beautiful office. Because so much of my work is done from home since we've closed my office, since it's a gathering place for people. I'm sorry, I'm crying. But I have had to, I'm sharing with you a little bit of the depressive energy I've been carrying around for the past few days, and it's just so hard to lose, but I understand impermanence. I've also been asking, in a way, for more in my life, and so I understand that this is just the first step in everything changing, so that I can make room for those other things that I've asked for. But losing it is not as easy as just saying, well, I knew this was going to happen. I've been feeling like this was going to happen because of the fact that I need to make space, right? Things have to be changed and torn down to make space for the other things that you want to accomplish in your life. And so this is just the beginning of all of that new energy coming in. But it's difficult. It's difficult to take the one thing that was solid and make good with the letting go. But therein comes a whole new life, a whole new welcoming in a whole new cycle. And so it's just about letting go gracefully and having faith that so much more is to come. Just because we understand that this wouldn't fit with the other things that we're trying to materialize in our world, doesn't mean it's any less painful losing it. And so too, if you are going through the same thing with this energy, maybe it's important for you to know someone else's story, and that they are grappling with the same things. So let's get one more card for Leo, please. Thank you for listening to me. One more card for Leo, please, for this Pisces full moon. Iris of the Rainbow is number 32. Yeah, it's just trying to understand the light through that darkness. It's sad to see this place go, but it's wonderful to be able to know that on the horizon is the freedom to be able to maybe not have to work at my 8-day-a-week job. That I can, you know, have the ability and freedom to change up what I'm doing, to have the freedom to zig when I want to and zag when I want to be able to maybe welcome in a space with someone else, you know, that type of growth. So with every, it sounds so, you know, welcome back to idioms, but to have a rainbow, there must be rain. So Leo, I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I'm sorry to have been so emotional in that. I do definitely wish you all the best for this Pisces full moon. And if you feel that you resonated with any of that, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. As always, I thank you all for being here, and I wish you the best. Mahalo.